This season of Bridgerton is so far my favorite one. It's filled with, it's just the four episodes that have been released already. And so far, I am so in love with the way everything is happening. There's already like a lot of laughter, a lot of tears. I am so in love with this season so far.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another review on the Review Garden.
41 minutes into episode 1 of season 3, and we could say, so much is already happening, right? So Penelope decided she wanted to change her looks because she wanted to take a husband this season. And the reason she really wants to take a husband is because um her mom is saying, now pretty much the talk is who's going to inherit the Lord Featherington title, and who's going to inherit the estate. Well, in here they're like, oh, their great aunt passed away, so they left them a fortune. That's how they were able to clear all the debt after what happened, in season 1 and season 2. But in the book, I remember that it was Penelope who gave her money when the aunt passed away. So she used her money as a way to get her family out of debt, and said that it was the great aunt who who gave it to them, right? So here it doesn't really say that, but I'm assuming that that's what they're going to say maybe in the second part. So now it's like, because both of her sisters are married. I guess the other sister got married over summer. Didn't really show us those two pretty much getting together, but now there's a race for a baby because she mentioned to Crisetta's mother that, Lord Featherington wrote something that, the estate is going to go to whoever produces a male son. So now she is, she's pushing her daughters to to have babies, right? So the girls, after they left the queen's party, which the queen did not show up for, after they left that, they were saying, how they were gonna be changing the house. They were gonna take all of Penelope's books away and blah blah blah. So Penelope's like, okay, I need to get out of this house. And her mom was also like, oh, I'm I feel a great whatever pleasure that that you will always take care of me. So she was like, that's not the life I'm trying to live. So she says, I need to take a husband. So she goes to the Modis and gets a new color. Now, with her and Eloise now is friends with Cressida. And not many people are happy about it. And you could see Cressida is still out to, um, be mean to Penelope. She's a bully. That's what she is. And she bullied Penelope in season 1, season 2, and now she's already started bullying Penelope twice here in this episode, right? So when she came up to her at the queen's day party, and then when she ripped her clothes, when she ripped her brand new dress while Penelope was talking to Lord Devlin. And I'm like, why are you even friends with this girl? And I know, like, part of it, maybe she's trying to get back at Penelope, but I do know that maybe there's a part of her who still cares about Penelope. She just doesn't want to talk to Penelope because when Cressida approached her, approached Penelope at the Queen's Day party, she came up to Cressida and took Cressida away from her, you know. And when Cressida um stepped on Penelope's dress, you know, Eloise was like, "I'm so sorry, Pen," you know. So I feel like there is a part of her that still cares for Penelope, but she's still hurt at what happened. So that's why she doesn't want to, spend a lot of time talking to her and being with her like they used to be. But everybody's just like, what's going on and whatnot. And something else that happened in this episode so far in this episode, so Francesca pretty much does her debut, and the day that everybody presents themselves to the queen was not impressed. That's why she didn't show up to her own parties. And now everybody is, well, not everybody, but all the mamas are pretty much antsy because the queen did not choose a diamond yet. Or what's the other term? The imperable or something like that. Yeah, she didn't choose anyone yet. So that's why everybody is like, oh my gosh, why isn't the queen here? Why didn't the queen pick somebody? Right? So, and Francesca right now, she just doesn't seem to be interested in all the questions that the guys are asking her. Like, all the guys, they're coming up to her and they are, asking her, what makes you tick? What do you enjoy? What else besides the pianoforte do you do? And she's like, I don't want to be grilled by you guys. I want to, have a conversation, not be like, oh, what makes you tick? And who asks somebody like, what makes you tick? Like why would that be the first question you ask? Just so that you know what makes me tick, just so that you don't do it, but then you're like, no. It's a weird question to ask. At the end of episode 1, you know, Colin pretty much finds out what Lady Whistletown wrote about him and how, he has a new personality, da 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 da. And I'm like, I it's true because like who is this? Like who is this? He's like, I get it, before he used to flirt with girls before, but now it's like to the extreme, right? But she only wrote it because she wrote it after that night when she told him, I heard what you said in my mama's ball last season. So she was mad at him. And the thing about Penelope is that as Lady Whistletown, she writes the gut stuff when she's very emotional, which is the same thing that happened with Marina, which was the same thing that happened with Eloise, and she, wrote something about them that she shouldn't have. And here too, she feels guilty that she wrote it because just maybe that day or the day prior, Colin came and apologized to her and was like, okay, if it's a husband you seek, I will help you find one. So, like, she does feel bad after she puts them out, but it's the fact that she puts them out. I was wondering who this season she was going to, like, stab, but I feel like she's writing about Colin, and she's probably gonna write about herself, and like, and the other thing is when she writes, she dabs at the queen, and that's why the queen is like pissed off with Lady Whistletown, and the queen doesn't like her because even here too, in the first episode, she was like, oh, the queen hasn't chosen a diamond yet. Like, what's going on? What is the queen thinking? you know. So she intentionally goes after the queen, and the queen always starts some shit because she doesn't like being made fun of, or she doesn't like um you know showing that she doesn't know what she's doing. You know what annoyed me about the carriage ride between Colin and Eloise is the fact that she was like, what if anybody finds out that you're helping her? Is that wise? As an unmarried person, helping her find a husband? Da-da-da. And then the first person to open their mouths to put the girl's business out is Eloise, because she tells Cressida, whatever her name is, at the ball where everyone can hear. I'm like, I get it, you guys are not friends, but you the one who put her secret out there. So it's like you're both the same. You're both the same. She put your secret out last time, and then you got her ridiculed by everyone at the party because you wanted to open your mouth and talk shit about her. So now don't go over here acting like you're better than her. And Colin told you not to say anything to anyone. And then, the other thing that happened here is, Colin is like helping her find a husband and so on. And the scene when, they were in it, well, this time around, it happened in the study. She had to go in the study because Eloise came back home too early. And um, while she was in the study, she saw Colin's journal, and she started reading it. This time around, Colin's writing about how he was making love to somebody, whereas in the book it was different. But she's still like, she enjoyed his writing, she enjoyed his style of writing. And when his hand got cut and she wrapped it up for him, I think she used her glove to wrap it up. But it's interesting how they they played it into this. um Before I forget, like, there is the part about the boxer and his family who inherited um her great aunt passed away and left all her fortune to the next male heir, which happened to be her son. So now they've come into money, and she pretty much had to go change her wardrobe. So now she can afford to go to the modiste and get a new wardrobe, and now they're lords and ladies, so they can attend these everyday parties. And since they've never been there, they don't know what the rules are. So Anthony was the one who pretty much told him, like, you guys are already married, so you don't have to worry about the rules. You pretty much decide what you want to do. And they already told them, like, that's the way you do it, sleep in separate bedrooms. So are they gonna keep sleeping in separate bedrooms just because you know that's how it's done? Or are they going to start sharing a bedroom because that's how they want to run the house? Now granted, it's the son who technically owns the house, so you're gonna be like, okay, well, my mommy and daddy wants to sleep in the same room, so now they can. Boom, done. That's it. So in this instant about Penelope and her whole thing being revealed to everyone. So it wasn't Cressida who said anything. She actually was like, nope, I don't have anything to say. And it was actually the girl who was next to Cressida when Eloise told her. She's the one who was spreading the rumors. And what annoys me is the moms. The moms are like, "Oh, we don't see why you're helping her, Mr. Bridgerton, especially someone who's, you know, beyond repair." And I'm like, "Ew, you guys are mothers who one of y'all's kid, which was Cressida's mom, you know, is on her third season, which is the same as Penelope. So if you are calling Penelope a spinster, that means your own daughter is a spinster. So I don't understand the difference. You're coming away saying, "Oh, she's beyond hope." Then what the hell is your daughter? Hmm? Hmm? Because she could fix her weight, but your daughter can't fix her nasty attitude. Can she? After everything that, happened at the ball, she did write about herself, in Lady Whistletown. So she talked about how, you know, she didn't have any prospects and enlisting the help of Mr. Bridgerton. Da, 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 da. So, when Colin came and was like, "Why did you write about it?" And well, no, he didn't say that because he still doesn't know that she's Lady Whistletown, right? So, um, what he told her was it doesn't matter what she wrote, but he was like, she was gonna write about it anyway because that's what everybody is talking about, right? So, but what annoyed me was the way her mom came and was like, "Is this true?" And she was like, "Oh, a life unmarried is not the worst thing." Well, obviously, but you're not supposed to tell her that she wants to get married. And you're like, "Oh, do you know how hard it is to be married your third season out? You have to be realistic." It's because of y'all that she wants to go and find a husband, because you keep pushing the other ones to become the new, Lady Featherington and have a son. And it's funny with her two daughters, her other two daughters, the second one to get married, I don't think she likes her husband. That's why I'm like, where did he even come from? Like, I remember him from season 2, but like I don't remember, like I just watched it, but like I don't remember them getting together. So that's why I'm like, because I remember from season 2 she was pushing for, you know her to be with the cousin, with the new Lord Featherington. So like even in episode 2, when the mom finally told them, when a man inserts himself, and then it was so funny because the other one, the one who's been married, she was like, she kept saying, "Oh, we familiarize ourselves, you know in these different places, and we did this, we did that." And the one who's newly married was like, "We only did it once, and that was it." And but when she was like, "When a man inserts himself," and she was like, "Insert where?" So the mom was like, "What have you been doing this whole time?" She was like, "We kiss, and then he needs to change. He needs to change his underwear." Oh my god! She's like, "What have I done to be punished like that? What have you done? You've mistreated Penelope. That's what you've done. If anyone should have won this race, it should have been Penelope. So that she could get back the money that she gave y'all to pay off your debts. It should have been her." But anyway, she yeah, so they finally showed you in episode 2 that they were getting familiar with each other. And it's the one who got married first that's actually, enjoying familiarizing herself with her husband, while the other one was just so awkward. You're like, what is going on here? Like, what are you guys doing? So, and then towards the end of the episode, when Colin came to check on Penelope and ask her, if she's okay, she was like, you know, can you kiss me? Because she doesn't want to die and, never been kissed, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, uh, is your maid there? Like, shouldn't she be chaperoning, be nearby? First of all, it's at night in your garden, no one's here, and he's kissing you. Isn't that what in the previous episodes they were like the whole reason for, Anthony wanted Daphne to get married? Isn't that the whole reason, you know when um Penelope's mom did to get, the new Lord Hetherington to marry her other daughter? I'm like, where's the chaperone here? So, and the other thing I had to say about this kiss was, you know, she said she's never been kissed. This is her first kiss, right? But you're awfully talented for someone who it's their first kiss. In the book, when, she told him to kiss her, which that part, it happened, like, I think it was at her house. She was like, what am I supposed to do with my hands? What am I supposed to do with my mouth? Like, that's more believable. But when you're like, it's your first kiss, but like you're doing it pretty well, it's like, okay, girl, okay. In episode 3, when everybody is at that air balloon event, Penelope saw Devlin. So Penelope and Cressida are both taking an interest in Lord Devlin. Lord Devlin doesn't seem to be showing that much interest right now in the middle of episode 3 to one or the other, but like he's engaging in conversation with both. But when the three ladies were there talking to him, I was just like, oh my gosh, Penelope, get out of here. But you know that she didn't want to because she's trying to one up Cressida, but Cressida did her homework. You know, she she learned about the the bird. She learned about because here she's also trying to take a husband too, because her mom is pushing for her to take one. But Penelope didn't really do her homework here, so she's looking kind of like she needs someone to come and rescue her. And I'm just like, girl, just walk away. But no, she just stayed there, right? And then so it's like super windy, and they're trying to like do the air balloon, but um but it's not staying in place. And then you have Colin, who like keeps looking at them, who keeps looking the way of the three ladies, because after they finish kissing in episode at the end of episode 2, this man cannot sleep. He cannot sleep. So in the beginning of episode 3, he was like having like dirty thoughts, you know. So he's just like, even in here, in this event, when she went to go, like she wanted to talk to him and talk to him about Lord Devlin, and she bought a cupcake, and like she was just licking her fingers for the cupcake, and this man was aroused, right? So he can't stop thinking about her after he kissed her. And I'm like, for what you put her through, for what even in the beginning of this season, you're like flirting with all these girls and you're even sleeping with hired, you know. And I'm just like, you need to suffer more, sir. You need to suffer more. Um, but what I didn't like about this part was the fact that, well, then again, they just focused on themselves and got out of the way when the wind kind of like took the hot air balloon. So Penelope stayed and everything was heading towards her. So then Colin was the one who like went and grabbed the rope and he asked everybody for help, right? To pull everything back in place. But Penelope stayed there. And it wasn't until, Lord Devlin noticed that he left, you know, and left her there. He came back to her and kind of like covered her. Like there wasn't enough time to pull her out of the way because she had already fell. So he just like covered her so that she wouldn't get hurt. But I'm just like, wow. Also, what's her name? Bridgerton. Francesca, right? So she is the diamond of this season because at I don't remember whose party it was, but Lady Danbury had her go play the piano because that's what her strong suit is, and the queen heard her play, so the queen named her the diamond. And now the queen introduced her her to one of her friends. I think with Francesca though, like she just wants the whole thing to be over with. Like she doesn't want to go another season worried about who she's gonna get married to. So I wonder if by the end of this we're gonna see two weddings. Um the you know Francesca and Colin, but she's supposed to have her own season. So which begs the question, um is next season then going to be Francesca or is it going to be Eloise or is it going to yeah, so is it going to be Francesca's Eloise or Benedict's season? Benedict has taken an interest in the woman that he met at the event. Um, and then, Francesca was given the queen's friend, but I don't think she's interested in him. This man said he wants 8 children. I'm like, do you want some of those to be illegitimate children? Because I feel like, I don't know. To me, sometimes it's selfish when a man is like they want 8 kids. I mean, if it happens, I can understand. But for you to just say, "Oh, I want 8 kids," but you don't even know anything about the woman, I don't know. To me, it's just ooh. So I don't think she likes him. She like ran outside, and she met someone else who is like, more quiet and more in tune with her. She's looking for someone who likes music just like her. And then, you have Colin in this episode who tells his mom, "Do you believe asking about friendship?" And I'm pretty sure his mom picked up on what he was putting down, and his mom looked at Penelope dancing with, Lord Devlin, and knew exactly like where her son's mind was at. So Lady Danbury's brother made an appearance, um, mid, in episode 3. And I don't think she likes him. First of all, she referred to him as an uninvited guest, right? And then he's taken a liking to Violet, um, you know, and I'm like, I get it. She doesn't like him. For some reason, she doesn't like him. But I'm like, you can't just be like, unless he's like a flirt, unless he's like you know, he's like a major player. You can't tell Violet like not to do anything. I mean, you were with Violet's dad. So I feel like it's only fitting you just let Violet be with your brother, you know? So, but yeah, speaking of Violet though, she did notice the interaction between, you know, Colin and Penelope. And she was just like looking at them for the rest of the night after he asked her that question about, oh, you say that the best relationship is rooted in friendships. And then, um so she automatically could see that he was talking about Penelope. But then, while he was trying to ask Penelope something, Lord Devlin came back and was like, you know, can we dance? It's time for a dance. And then you could also see Cressida on the other side of the wall, with Eloise, and she was pretty much mad. So it begs the question, how far is it gonna go with Lord Debling? And since we know this is pollen season, we know it's not going to end with Penelope with Lord Deblin. But is then Lord Deblin going to switch over now to Cressida? Because he's not looking for a love match. He's looking for what was it, a practical match, right? He wants somebody who can, I mean, it's gonna be someone who can run his estate, right? He leaves so much that, um because I think he's gonna be gone for like 3 years or something. He's gone for so long that it's gonna be hard if it's a love match, right? So that's why he's looking for a practical match. So he doesn't love Penelope and he doesn't love Cressida. So to him, that's not what he's looking for. But Penelope is looking for a love match. And I would think Colin would be looking for a love match too. Cressida, I don't think she's looking for a love match. She just wants to get married so that her father can get off her case. Her father and her mom can get off her case. Because this is the third season that she's out, and her mom said that, her father's cutting the budget. So she may have to wear the same dress again. And if she doesn't find a husband, they're going to match her up with one of their old friends. So everybody's like on a thing to get married. And if Lord Deblin doesn't get married now, then he's gonna get married like what for in 3 years. That's when he's gonna have to come back and get married. So he's in a rush. So my guess is he's going to end up being with Cressida. But in the books, I don't remember who she was with. I think in the books she got with somebody and then that person passed away. And then she wasn't even married long and the person passed away. So we'll see where this goes with her. Let's talk about the ending of episode 4. So there's two things, two Bridgertons that I want to talk about. So you have Francesca, who, um, you know, the person that the queen wants her to have came back after a dance to give her lemonade. And then um, the other person that she met that she really likes, which is John Sterling, he gave her, music notes. And the music notes that he gave her were, they met in the street before, and he asked her about the music, and she was like, it's all wrong. So he composed the same exact song, in the beat that she wanted. So so she like wanted to go home and play it on the piano. So with the one that the queen offered, he's more like, I want 8 children. I want this. I want that. Whereas John Sterling, he doesn't really say much, which she enjoys, but he believes in the power of a gesture. So he went and composed the music sheet for her. And she really liked that. When she got home, her mom was like, what are you doing? And, her mom saw how happy she was. So she was like, okay, I'm I'm happy for you too, because this could potentially be a love match. But the thing about this is that this is John Sterling in the book, Earl of Kilmartin. And in the book, that's who she gets married to first. But her book isn't about him. Her book is about his cousin or his brother, Michael. So I'm guessing they're gonna have her get married by the end of this, and then it'll probably be Benedict's season, and then it will be um, Eloise's season, and then it'll probably be Francesca's season again after John passes away, and now she is finding love with Michael. I mean, I feel like it probably would have been best if they had just, skipped that whole part, but I guess they have to involve everyone in the book, even though they're creating their own people. But that doesn't make sense either, because they, for the book, Felicity, Penelope had 3 sisters, but in the show, she only had 2 sisters. So they could have removed a character again if they wanted to, right? Now let's skip to Pollen. So, throughout episode 4, Colin was feeling like, jealous. He's sick to his stomach, right? Because of how close Penelope is getting with Lord Deblin. And something that I didn't quite like about, I mean, I get it. He was mad. He I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you don't love her, right? You don't love her, but you're mad at the fact that she is in love with someone else. And I don't know, the way he stormed off. I mean, I guess in a way he does have a right, because, Colin just came in. He came in late to the party after he told his mom he wasn't going because he wasn't feeling well. And then, he came late. He cut them, because his mom told him that Sterling, Deblin was going to propose to Penelope. So he cut them while they were dancing. And then this is when Cressida came for her opportunity to finish dancing with Lord Deblin. Because when he did that, everybody was looking, and everybody was like, what is going on here? Like, Colin came in causing a scene, right? So Penelope's like, "What are you doing? I asked you to help me, not try to get my marriage, you know, like not put together." So he's like, "You don't know him. You don't love him. He's gonna be gone for 3 years. What are you gonna do?" So this whole time, Devlin is like mad, but he's dancing with Cressida. And then Cressida's like, yeah, they're the oldest of friends ever since the Featheringtons moved across the street, right across the street. So then, you know, he puts, like why she keeps staring at that window because, well, first of all, it's not just Colin because in that house she had two Bridgertons that she was close with, which was Colin and Eloise. So we could have been like, okay, well, she was watching both of them if we wanted to, but we all know she was mostly watching Colin. But Colin was away, you know, on so many trips. So we could be like, okay, maybe she was looking for Eloise, right? Um, so then he gets mad at that fact, right? And he's like, the way he broke up with her, he was like, you know, I'm gonna be gone for a long time, and I don't want somebody who's already, engaged, infatuated with someone else, which makes sense. Which makes sense because you know you're gonna be gone for 3 years. You don't want your wife back home to be like cheating on you or like emotionally cheating on you, right? But to me, like, I don't know why, but to me, him getting mad at that was was a little weird because you don't like her. I guess my point is he could have let her down more easier than to let her down and be mad about it. Because you have another option, which I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get married to Cressida now because Cressida is more of his speed. Cressida, he wants a practical marriage. Cressida just wants to get married so that she could get off the power of her dad. So it's a practical match, exactly. And then it's the fact that her mom was like, what did you do? Instead of actually caring about Penelope's feelings. And then, she runs out of the event and Colin runs out after her. And then that's when they do the whole carriage scene from the book. This is, but it's different from the book because in the book, the carriage scene happened, after he found out that she was Lady Whistletown. But this time around, the carriage scene happened at night, and he doesn't know that she's Lady Whistletown. And he asked her to marry him. And that was pretty much end scene, end of episode 4. So it's like, okay, well, when is he going to find out that she is Lady Whistletown? I feel like I would have preferred her to be to have told him the truth, and then he would make that decision to marry her, because now he's going to be like, oh, why didn't you tell me? You kind of like, no, first of all, he's the one who went after her, right? But it's the way that he was mad about Lady Whistledown in the beginning. And when he told, you know, Eloise that Lady Whistletown was going to be, you know, um, like he was going to wreck her. So, okay, well, are you going to wreck your fiance now? So, and it's going to be interesting now because Eloise knows the secret. So, is she going to tell her brother? Is she going to now tell Penelope to go tell her brother the truth? So it's like, what's gonna happen now? which way are they going to, change the story some more. And I'm pretty sure there was a scene where they showed you some kind of preview or some kind of some BTS, where Cressida is talking, and Penelope kind of faints. So I'm guessing they're still going to put that whole, um, where Cressida acts like she's Lady Whistletown. But the thing is she, are they going to reveal her identity at the end of episode 8? Because that was similar to the book. But then again, her book happened 10 years or 12 years down the line of her being Lady Whistletown. And this is only 3 years of her being Lady Whistletown. So I think probably they're not going to reveal her identity. But what I want for Penelope is to stop being so emotional. She keeps being so emotional and she keeps revealing herself in the in Lady Whistletown, and it's because people don't pay enough attention to her. That's why they haven't cracked it that she's Lady Whistletown. But if people paid enough attention, she repeats, which is the same thing in the book that got her caught, but she repeats herself in Lady Whistletown. So, you know, like the conversation happened, and then she's going to, like, when she writes Lady Whistletown, she writes similar things. And I'm like, girl, stop getting so emotional. And then let's talk about the carriage scene real quickly. Um, I'm gonna say that for someone who doesn't know what they were doing, like who well for someone who's not supposed to know what they were doing, she surely knew what to do. Like Daphne, when they showed you her, like she really did not know what to do, and it was realistic. But here it really wasn't that realistic. But then again, Penelope does read a lot, so maybe and then let's just be like, were your fingers clean, Colin? Because that was intense. But don't get me wrong, the carriage scene was definitely steamy. So I'm excited to see now where they're going to pick it up. And obviously based on the episode names, they're probably gonna get married in episode 6. So we'll see if Colin finds out that she's Lady Whistletown in episode 5.
And this wraps up our journey on the Review Garden. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this drama. If you enjoyed this reaction and review, please remember to subscribe for more insightful videos. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps our channel grow. As always, I'm truly grateful for your support and for joining me on this journey on the Review Garden. Until next time, and happy listening. Bye.